Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about protecting your gear in the rain. Obvious reasons, we spend a lot of money in gear, whether that's lenses, cameras, etc. The last thing we want is for our gear to be damaged, and water will do just that if you don't protect your gear. So your first line of defense will obviously be either your backpack or your roller or a pelly case, for example. So let's start with a pelly. If you have a pelly case, you are guaranteed that what's inside won't get any water at all because this is completely waterproof and sealed, but it has its disadvantages. Obviously there's pros and cons of having a pelly or a roller, but if you go, as far as rain is concerned, if you go with a pelly, that's your best bet to keep your gear protected. If you have a backpack or a roller, in most cases they will come with a wrapping either attached to the backpack or the roller itself that you can use to protect your gear from the rain. I'll show you in this low pro that I use. It's hidden here at the bottom of the backpack. It just comes out and it protects the backpack like this. So this is not completely waterproof, but it's water resistant, let's call it that. So it will hold a little bit of water before it starts to go inside, but it's better than having nothing. Okay, so it'll protect the backpack in one side, so the front and the sides. On the back it won't, but it's going to be laying down, so it doesn't need it, right? But very important is to keep that in mind if you do have a backpack with a pouch like this, to use it. And for the think tank, it's pretty much the same thing. It comes with one that you can put on the outside of the roller. It fits like so, and it tightens in the front. So same thing, it'll protect the roller on one side, the top and the sides. On the part underneath, it's not protected, but it doesn't need it. So important to keep your gear that you're not using inside of the backpack or the roller protected from the rain. Last case scenario, if you're in a tight budget, or even if you're not, I've seen people use kitchen garbage bag, which is, you know, just plastic, and that does the job perfectly. And don't feel afraid of what other people might think. I don't care really what other people think. If you have a plastic bag to protect your gear, is because you care about it. You don't want it to be damaged. So if you need to use a plastic bag to protect your gear, go for it. It does the job and it keeps the rain away. Now, before we get to the gear itself, so the rain covers, etc., for the lenses, the camera and whatnot, let's talk about us photographers. We also need to have some gear to protect ourselves. So a good pair of boots, good pair of pants and jacket are very important to, you know, not get home completely soaking wet. I was gonna do this at a venue, this video that is, but the wind was too strong and it was picking up on the microphone, so I couldn't record that for you guys. But I'm still gonna show a few pictures where you can clearly see I'm getting ready to be soaked, so you can see the boots, the pants and the jacket. So I was prepped to shoot under the rain. Let me show you what the pants look like. The jacket is just a normal jacket and the boots are just waterproof boots. But the pants, they're incredibly light, okay? They're waterproof, they're almost plastic, but you wear these on top of your normal pants. So they pack really, really light, but they'll keep rain away from your legs. So very important to keep this in your backpack. It doesn't take that much space anyway, and it's really, really helpful. Now, before we get to the lens and the cameras, also very important and handy is to have either a kitchen towel or an actual towel in your backpack to wipe away any water during or after the games, because the last thing you want is to take your gear and store it completely wet. You don't want that. So to wipe any excess water, very, very handy to have a kitchen towel. During the games, you will also want to have some lens cloth for the lens, for the front element. For example, even in the 400, where the lens hood is very, very long, if it's raining really heavy, it's gonna hit the lens hood at the bottom and it's gonna ricochet back to the lens. So you're gonna get water no matter how long your lens hood is. So having lens cloth at hand will be very, very helpful. And now the most obvious equipment you need to have to shoot in the rain are lens covers. So the most basic ones that you can get are by Optech USA. These are disposable, okay? And this one, for example, is for the 7200. It's basically a plastic bag with a tightening lace at the front. So you put your lens hood here through here and you tighten it with this, okay? At the back, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but there's a little circular hole here that you put through the viewfinder, and the other side is what you're gonna put your hands through, and you know, it's completely see-through, so you can shoot and have your gear protected and you can still see what you're doing. These won't last forever though. Like I said, they're almost disposable, but they're very, very cheap. So if you're just starting out, if you're on a budget, this will be probably your best bet. Cheap, but it does the job. I don't think they have sizes for longer lens like the 400. I don't think there's this for 400. Then if you want to take this a little bit more serious, you have a little bit more money to spend, then there's better options, obviously. I'm going to show you two that I use. One is by Vanguard. So it has a see-through plastic here that will go over the back of the lens, so you can see the viewfinder and your controls. And at the front, there's a very, very good Velcro to tighten it to the lens hood, okay? So it is very open underneath, so you don't have a lot of, you know, cloth hanging around. It's just, it has enough to cover the lens and pretty much it. And you have space for your tripod or your monopod. The one I use for the 400 though is by Think Tank, and it's massive, obviously because of the lens. It has a few advantages. One, it is completely closable on the underneath, so there's no water at all anywhere. And another thing it has, which is really cool, is that, I don't know if you can see it here or not, hopefully you can. There's a thing you can put on your flash hot shoe that will keep this in place, okay? So if you're shooting, for example, it doesn't happen on the Vanguard one. If I'm shooting on the 7200 and I put it down and I pick it back up, it's possible that this part will have moved around and I cannot see it right away. I have to, you know, 2-3 seconds, but yes, I will have to move it to put it in place so I can see what I'm doing. Whereas with this one, with this system, it'll keep this plastic part in place so that I can, you know, not have to fiddle around with it. At the front, the system is the same, is Velcro to tighten it. But with both of these lens covers, I take an extra step, which is using some PVC tape, so electrician tape, at the front to go around the lens hood. So I make sure that even with the Velcro tightened well, the lens hood, the lens cover will not move at all. So this is incredibly cheap, and it keeps the lens cover in place. It doesn't move. When I remove it, it doesn't leave any residue like glue or anything like that, so it doesn't damage the gear. Very cheap, very handy. The next accessory is for your laptop. It's by iCap. I have made a video about this, but basically it's a little tent that's very foldable, and I'll show you in a second when I'm undoing it. But basically you put your laptop in here and it protects it from the rain or from the sun as well. So if you're shooting in really, really harsh lighting conditions, because the sun is just, you know, completely clear blue skies and the sun is shining like crazy and you can't see anything, with this you'll be able to, because you'll be able to put the laptop inside. But today we're talking about rain. I just wanted to mention this as well because it is also used for the sun. So this is very, very handy. It is not cheap, but it's an incredible accessory. I've made a video about this if you want to check it in more detail. Well, let me show you how it unfolds. It actually comes with some guides here. If you look, there's a hand. I don't know if you can tell. You can see the 4 fingers, and there's here another one. So you just twist it, okay? And that's it. It folds nice and tight. Doesn't take that much space. It comes with a pouch that you just close, and this is how much space it'll take. Almost nothing. Very, very handy. It keeps your laptop completely safe from the rain or the sun. And there's one more accessory that I use only at home, which is the humidifier. So these little machines will capture the moisture from the air and it'll go into this plastic part here, and you just throw away the water at the end. I don't need to explain what this does, but it's very, very handy. So if I was at a match, if I'm at a match where it rains from start to finish, you know, I'm careful using the rain covers, obviously, making sure I use the towel to wipe it off, any excess water, etc. But I just want to be 100% certain that there's nothing left behind, so I will use this when I get home. And before I leave, there's actually one more tiny thing that I forgot to mention, which is these little things that come with any electronics that you buy. So silica gel, these little bags, I keep a whole bunch of them in my backpacks and in my roller, because it'll, again, is just an additional step to absorb any excess moisture that you might have, because, you know, we spend a lot of money on our equipment and we don't want it to be ruined. And that's it for today, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and until next time, take it easy, guys. Stay safe.